What brings us here? To this place with the coldest winters and hottest summers? We don't come here to retire. We come here to live, to be challenged, to be inspired. This is a city that demands fresh thinking and duly rewards it. If you can make it here, well, you know what they say. We New Yorkers, we're always pushing ourselves to be better. No wonder this city gives us the best of everything. You don't have to look far to see it. It's all around us. The best food, the best music, the best medical care, the best train station. At NYU Langone, we're collaborating on every level to be the best we can be for New Yorkers and for everyone who seeks our care. After all, we're New Yorkers too.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Right now on Fox 5 News at 10.
A mom says her son's hoverboard burst into flames and nearly burned down her house. The family claims the 12-year-old was charging his board at the time.
Well, the wildly popular device is among the hottest holiday gifts this season, but are they a safety hazard? Sharon Crowley is here with more on that tonight. Hi, Sharon.
Yeah, something, Dari, we're looking into tonight. Coming off those Cyber Monday and Black Friday sales, hoverboards are a really popular item. Now, it may not surprise you that people might get hurt after falling off of one, but now 2 people have come forward with another dangerous concern that hoverboards caught on fire.
Kids and grown-ups alike are dropping hundreds of dollars to own their own hot new ride on wheels. Hoverboards are the must-have gift this holiday season. As popular as the toys are becoming, now these two-wheeled sensations have a few critics.
Both wheels, it was like a firework, like you just lit a firework.
Louisiana mother Jessica Horn says her 12-year-old son's hoverboard exploded. Luckily, he wasn't on it at the time. The skateboard is powered by lithium batteries, and it allows riders to move without effort, steering with their feet. Horn says the device caught fire while her son was charging the battery using the charger that came with the hoverboard. She says the fire spread throughout the house.
I seen sparks just flying, and before I could yell, the house is on fire. It just the middle part of the board that would go in between your feet just poof into flames.
When it happened, I couldn't believe, and it was hard to put it out because it was pretty big. Caught flames fast.
Hoverboard is on fire.
Timothy Cade, who lives in Alabama, says his hoverboard also caught fire. He posted what he says is proof of that on YouTube.
Mom, get some water or something. It's on fire.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission says 8 injuries have been reported involving hoverboards during the last 3 months, but they were all due to falls, not fires. In fact, social media is filled with hoverboard users posting falls, known as hoverboard fails.
Then just forward. Then stand, please.
Dr. Robert Glatter is an emergency room doctor at Lenox Hill Hospital.
I can tell you that a traumatic brain injury is likely to happen if you don't wear a helmet. And I would really advise people, number one, to wear a helmet if you choose to ride one of these devices.
Now, as for the fires, I reached out to the company that makes one of the hoverboards that the Louisiana mother says caught on fire. So far, I've not heard back from that company. And one more thing, hoverboard users need to know that it's illegal to ride one of those on the streets of New York City. Something to keep in mind, Dari.
Wow, Sharon, thank you. A 3-year-old Bronx girl is safe with the New Jersey State Police tonight. An Amber Alert was issued earlier today for Rebecca Valenzuela. Police say that her father, Dino Medes, stabbed her mother in the Bedford Park section. She is in critical but stable condition tonight. And Fox 5 has also learned that the girl's father, who is now in police custody, is a police officer himself in New Jersey.
Fallout from Sheldon Silver's conviction on federal corruption charges continues to reverberate all the way to Albany. Governor Cuomo says what Silver was convicted of doing, taking bribes and pocketing millions in exchange for political favors, violates the public trust and feeds into the cynicism people have about government.
I think it's a loud, clear message that the legislature should hear. If you break the law, you will get caught and you will get convicted, so don't even think about it.
The former Assembly Speaker could get 130 years in prison. His lawyers, though, are planning to appeal.
Well, Chicago's top cop is out of a job tonight amid controversy over a police shooting caught on camera and an alleged cover-up. Gary McCarthy, who used to be the police director for the city of Newark, was fired by Mayor Rahm Emanuel today. He said McCarthy had become a distraction after a wave of protests in the Windy City. Demonstrators were outraged over the city's handling of the investigation of the fatal shooting of 17-year-old Laquan McDonald by police officer Jason Van Dyke. The teen was shot 16 times.
The public trust in the leadership of the department has been shaken and eroded.
We're here before this emblem of death, this casket, to bury police misconduct in the city of Chicago.
Officer Van Dyke is facing first-degree murder charges. He posted a $150,000 bond after his attorney assured the judge that he is not a flight risk. And there are growing calls tonight for Mayor Rahm Emanuel himself to resign.
All right, kind of a stormy night out there.
Oh, yes, it certainly is, and I guess it's not going to be over anytime soon. Nick?
No, we got to get through tomorrow, which will bring some more rain and a little milder weather, too, Steve and Dari. And tonight, it's just kind of drizzly out there. It's kind of a little mist in the air, that kind of deal. As you look at Fox 5 Sky Guardian, we don't have any real organized area of rain at the moment, but that will change again in tomorrow. Little pockets of light rain and drizzle here in the lower Hudson Valley going up towards Litchfield County, Connecticut, some over the eastern end of Long Island. And then not much being picked up on the radar here, but look at Fox 5 Sky Guardian 3D. Here's the batch of rain that came through earlier. That's one little storm center that it's now offshore. But look to the west. More rain here from east of Pittsburgh now to about the Williamsport area, and that rain extends down towards Tennessee and North Carolina, and it eventually will be aiming here in advance of the next system to come our way. Temperature's not too bad. Actually, we're in the upper 40s right now. We're going to hold right about here tonight. Lower 40s to the north and west. Our average high should be about 48 degrees. So we actually did a little bit better than that today, and tomorrow it's mid and upper 50s around here. All right, here's Futurecast, and again, you'll see some light rain or drizzle in spots as we go through the night and extending on into tomorrow. It looks like tomorrow afternoon, though, into the first part of tomorrow night is when the heavier, steadier amounts of rain may occur. Here's the timestamp at 1 in the afternoon, and you can see it gets a little more organized here. And then it moves on through. If we get it towards the later part of tomorrow evening, it'll shut down and then start to clear out. A little breezy on Thursday. Sun combines with clouds. Temperatures cool off a little bit, but still no real cold blast coming our way. We'll just kind of cool down at the end of the week. So it's been at upper 40s tonight with patchy fog and some light rain or drizzle around. Tomorrow, again, that shower threat will be around 50s through midday, 56 in the afternoon. Again, most of the rain tomorrow from about 1, 2 o'clock till about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. Dari and Steve?
Okay. Thank you, Nick. Well, the U.S. is expanding its special operations forces in Iraq and Syria to fight ISIS. Defense Secretary Ash Carter telling Congress today that over time, these special ops forces will be able to conduct raids, free hostages, gather intelligence, and capture ISIS leaders. He did not give the exact troop numbers, though.
All right, people in Paterson, New Jersey, opening their homes to Syrian refugees. Among the first to arrive, a family of 7. They're being resettled by Church World Service. That's an international interfaith organization. We're told the family underwent an intense screening process for nearly 3 years to be able to come to the U.S.
This is not a random screening. This is a very in-depth process that is done by professionals in intelligence and security vetting. And if there's any doubt, they're out.
Governor Christie, who's running for president, of course, is opposed to Syrian refugees resettling in New Jersey and has threatened to sue. His spokesperson telling Fox 5 that the governor will remain opposed until state and national security concerns are addressed.
6 years ago today, Rosa Parks made history by refusing to give up her seat to a white man on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. She was arrested, but the incident sparked a year-long bus boycott and the birth of the modern civil rights movement. Parks received the Congressional Medal of Honor in 1999. The civil rights legend died 6 years later at the age of 92.
And today, of course, is World AIDS Day. Taking a live look at the White House, showing its support for the movement to prevent a spread and find a cure. You can see the big red ribbon right in front of the White House. Stacey Delicat on the treatments giving many patients new hope.
Seasons of of Love first came to life on the stage of the musical Rent more than 20 years ago, the AIDS epidemic was at its height and New York City was at its epicenter. Today, the song was performed at the Apollo to commemorate World AIDS Day for a city facing a very different reality.
People that are HIV positive, they don't say like we're living with HIV. It's like, you know, well, I got HIV or whatever. We take our medication and keep it moving.
Antoinetta Etienne has been infected for more than 20 years and has been an HIV/AIDS advocate for just as long. She works with people like Stephanie Vasquez at Iris House in Harlem.
When I got diagnosed, I thought it was a death sentence. I thought my life was over.
That was 8 years ago. Today, Vasquez works at the Iris House and is on a 1-pill-a-day regimen.
Since I've been diagnosed, HIV and AIDS have come a long way.
HIV diagnoses in our city are lower than ever before. We saw a decrease of 35% over the last 10 years, reaching a historic low in 2014.
In New York State, the number of new cases has dropped by closer to 50% since 2001, and Governor Andrew Cuomo wants to bring the number of new diagnoses to 750 by 2020, low enough to make AIDS a negligible health threat. Helping in that goal, he says, more people have access to a drug known as PrEP that protects against HIV infection called Truvada, and he announced a major milestone.
This year is the first year that there have been no mother-to-newborn transmissions. Isn't that amazing?
But politicians and patients agree there's more work to do.
What's the hardest part still for you?
Medical issues, housing, hunger.
And to help people with HIV and AIDS get access to things like housing and medicine, both the city and state are committing more money. Governor Cuomo said today he'll ask the state legislature for an additional $200 million, and Mayor de Blasio says the city will be getting an additional $23 million a year for prevention and health care. In the newsroom, I'm Stacey Delicat, Fox 5 News.
And cutting the cord.
That's right. That's the dream. Why so many of us are ditching our landlines and going mobile only.
And inspired by Empire, the surprising baby name's getting a lot more popular these days thanks to the Fox's hit show.
All right, and the incredible pledge Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg's making following the birth of his baby daughter.
Closed captioning brought to you by the Lexus December to Remember sales event, now through January 4th.
Way up in the North Pole, a penguin loaded a toy car onto a racetrack. Zoom. It took off. Going faster and faster until finally it stopped right in our driveway.
Really?
Yeah.
The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here. Lease the all-wheel drive 2015 GS 350 with complimentary navigation system for these terms, and we'll make your first month's payment. See your Lexus dealer.
Losing an hour of sleep can reduce daytime alertness by 25%. Discover the power of sleep during Raymore and Flanagan's Wednesday one-day mattress sale. Save on the Northeast's largest mattress selection. Lifestyle adjustable bases start at $5.99. Serta Queen mattress sets start at $3.99. Get a free box spring with any Bell & S Royal mattress, no interest for 36 months. Raymore and Flanagan's Wednesday one-day mattress sale. Special preview Tuesday.
The mighty Philistine army stood on the hill above the men of King Saul. As the giant Goliath moved in for the kill, young David reached into his bag and slung one of his stones at Goliath's head. And Goliath fell face down on the ground. Who will stand up for you? Jacoby and Myers, winning serious injury lawsuits since 1972.
Fox 5 News brought to you by Jacoby and Myers, winning serious injury lawsuits since 1972.
Anything goes on Good Day.
Times Square, 31 days from New Year's, the big ball, confetti. This is official New Year's confetti.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! I was going to start getting that special confetti. What do you think? Happy New Year!
Can you enjoy it? Oh,
thank you.
Watch Good Day, New York's favorite morning show.
The tide is apparently turning. Nearly half of all U.S. homes only use cell phones.
All right, Dan Bowen's on why so many of us are cutting the cord when it comes to our landline.
It is the landline. For generations, the main line. Connected as a household fixture you couldn't imagine living without. But ask most people now and you'll get an answer like this.
I hadn't had a landline since 2001. So the only reason I really have it is because it was included in my cable package.
It is official. Hang it up. The downfall of the home phone is now, at least according to a new study. About a dozen years ago, only 3% of all U.S. households were cell phone only. Today, that number is closer to 47%, according to a new study from the CDC. It found that within a year, if the current trend continues, more than half of all U.S. households will be completely wireless within a year. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, we still sell a lot of them, but it doesn't surprise me because, again, I have 3 kids and they don't answer the phone.
Ralph DeServo is owner of J&R Electronics Repair Shop in Park Slope, Brooklyn. It's a store where the corded phones are still proudly for sale.
You'd want the comfort of knowing you have a good, solid phone next to you.
Though experts say the tipping point is approaching to mobile phones only, DeServo thinks there's always going to be a market and a need to keep a main line plugged in.
It's what we're used to. A lot of people don't like change. I think it's true with the phones. I like, a solid phone. I like to be able to slam it down if I'm mad.
We'll slam this story shut on that note. Dan Bowens, Fox 5 News.
All right.
I haven't had a landline in ages. All right, we have 212-646 and 917. Now get ready for Manhattan's newest area code, 332. It won't actually be operational until April of 2017 at the earliest, but phone companies must still submit a plan on how they implement it by next month. The need for an additional area code due to the high demand for phone numbers in Manhattan, driven, of course, by everybody with the cell phones.
Gee whiz, rumors about the iPhone 7 already swirling. One of the big changes may be the elimination of a headphone jack. Instead, AirPods would plug in through the device's lightning port or even possibly rely solely on Bluetooth. The move would supposedly allow Apple to make the next iPhone even thinner. No confirmation, though, of course.
And of course, it would make all of your old headphones
rendered
obsolete, which they haven't done yet. That's one trick they haven't pulled. All right, New York City, the first city in the country to require salt warning labels on the menus of large chain restaurants. The health department enforcing a new rule today that requires a salt shaker symbol next to dishes with a high salt count. Specifically, those that top the recommended daily limit of sodium, which is about 1 teaspoon. Restaurants that don't comply will only face a $200 fine.
Meantime, Applebee's and IHOP are taking soft drinks off the menu for kids, but sodas will still be available for adults to order. The move follows the lead of fast food chains like McDonald's and Burger King, which took the sugary drinks off its kids' menus earlier this year. But you can still have juice and all that stuff.
Right. The Fox hit Empire's already had a huge influence on music and fashion.
And now it's inspiring baby names as well. Lydia Serrani runs down some of the most popular names from the unusual sources.
Juno, Valencia, Amaro, Ludwig. Perhaps some of your favorite Instagram filters. They're also now popular baby names according to babycenter.com.
It's almost like a little bit of an inside joke that shows that you're sort of social media savvy. Maybe it also just shows that, you really wanted something that you didn't think other people were going to choose. So I think, again, people are going for uniqueness.
Sarah Bernard is Baby Center's pop culture and style contributor.
First of all, if you're talking about millennials, they use their phones, they use their Instagram, they use their social media constantly. So it's really just a part of their day and a part of their life. And it probably doesn't seem that strange.
Like this? What's not strange is what a cultural phenomenon the Fox hit show Empire has become. The name Lion, after the Lion family, is also now a popular name. So is Dre, Hakeem, and even Lucius.
If you say Cookie, everybody knows who you're talking about. If you say Lion, everyone thinks of the character in Empire. So they're very sort of definitive, powerful names.
Gender-neutral names like Blake Lively's daughter James are also popular. So is naming your child after a YouTube star like Felix. However, Geraldine named her daughter Nadia because of its meaning.
I just wanted something that was normal but unique, still not overly common, and I think it suits her.
And we'll never be royal. Royal names like Chris Brown's daughter Royalty is also huge this year. So is Kourtney Kardashian's baby boy's name Reign, as in rule as a king or queen.
You have to take into consideration that sometimes I think it's the parents' ego and they forget about the kid's journey in life.
Despite uniqueness ruling this year, the reigning champion names are Sophia for girls and Jackson for boys. Lydia Serrani, Fox 5 News.
I like naming it after Instagram filters. All right, well, see what it's like to be on stage at some of the world's most famous venues.
Now, Google is helping you step into the spotlight, and you don't even have to have any talent.
Perfect. All right, Star Wars fans reliving the franchise before the new movie opens, but is there a right and wrong way to binge watch the old films. Matt King delves into that. A lot of people have very specific thoughts on it.
Fox 5 News brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan, furnishing your style.
Everyone has the power to change the world, not with some superhuman ability, but with an idea, like developing cleaner cook stoves, which reduce toxic emissions while cooking. This work is led by the Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves, with help from Shell, helping millions around the world live better lives. What if your idea could change the world?
Fox Wednesday.
Empire is our family, and anybody that tries to steal that from us is our enemy.
The Empire Fall finale.
Wednesday at 9 on
Press Clean and let Roomba from iRobot help with your everyday messes. Roomba navigates your entire home, cleaning up pet hair and debris for up to 2 hours, which means your floors are always clean. You and Roomba from iRobot, better together.
With thousands of quality pre-owned vehicles and exceptional customer service, head to your neighborhood Enterprise car sales and let the people who buy more vehicles than anyone flip your thinking about buying your next one.
I hear her green skin sheds like a snake.
I hear she lives with flying monkeys.
If you throw water on her, she melts.
I hear she's so friendly, so good.
She's the most popular girl in Oz.
Everything you've heard isn't true. You may be surprised who's good. Wicked.
Dos Carnitas Diablos.
Cameron and Gloria are spicing things up.
Feel like I ate the sun!
Modern Family.
Tomorrow night starting at 7 on Fox 5.
I know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing.
All right, you can't get around Drake. He is everywhere. The rapper, the most streamed artist of the year worldwide on Spotify. In fact, Drake got 1.8 billion streams in 2015, beating out Ed Sheeran, who was the top streaming artist last year.
Billy Joel does it at the Garden, so why not at the Beacon for Jerry Seinfeld? Starting in January, the comedian will perform there once a month. It's part of a residency called Jerry Seinfeld, the Homestand. He says that it's one of his favorite places.
There's something just right about this one, and that's why I wanted to be here.
I do believe you're not going to be able to get a ticket. I suspect it'll be one of the fastest sellouts that we've ever had.
Yeah, that's a cozy spot. I like that theater.
Yeah, it's amazing theater.
Tickets for Seinfeld's first 6 shows go on sale online December 7th and at the Beacon box office on the 8th.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much impossible to get into. All right, well, it is your chance to appear and even perform on some of the world's greatest stages.
Audrey Puente shows us how Google is making it a virtual reality.
If you've ever wanted to experience being on stage at Carnegie Hall, Google will help you step into the spotlight with its new online exhibition. Over 60 artistic venues have partnered with Google Cultural Institute to provide a unique experience of the performing arts, says program manager Peter Adamczyk.
We focused on immersive 360 videos, so a way to put people on stage with the performing arts. So focused on ballet, on theater, on concert performances, and being able to do those in 360 from different vantage points on stage.
This is done through a series of small cameras put throughout the stage area, and the video recordings are then posted on YouTube.
It's just going to be a small kind of teaser of what a larger performance might be, and really to give people a sense of what it would be like to either be on stage or even just go and visit these institutions.
That's something Carnegie Hall's Chief Digital Officer Christopher Amos appreciates.
Our presence on the Google Cultural Institute platform offers new perspectives on Carnegie Hall, a chance to go behind the scenes and see parts of the building that you'll never see just attending a concert here.
While users get a peek inside some of the world's most famous concert halls, some smaller cultural institutions will also get a spotlight. Like the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, which along with the Brooklyn Academy of Music, Martha Graham Center, and Lincoln Center make the list of 10 institutions from right here in New York City. Google's interactive 360-degree videos now bring our local and world's cultural treasures right to your fingertips. Audrey Puente, Fox 5 News.
It is one of the largest charitable pledges in history.
Oh, that's for sure. Mark Zuckerberg giving away 99% of his Facebook shares with the surprise announcement upon his death and his wife. So not right now, but still, that's going to have a huge impact on the world and the social network's future, etc.
And the unique way a kid tells his mom to put down her cell phone. Oh.
It's after 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Brought to you by Ridgewood Savings Bank.
Smooth, rich mid-cafe coffee. Try any size for just $1.
And just like that, it's a whole new world outside. And jackets come out of hibernation. And we can feel the air, but we can see we're at our warmest. LLB. Guaranteed season after season.
Who doesn't like a good surprise? You'd be surprised how easy it is to get a good low-cost health plan. At NY State of Health, you'll find many quality plans to choose from. Help paying for your plan. A new essential plan at less than $1 a day for New Yorkers with lower incomes. Be surprised. Visit nystateofhealth.ny.gov or call 1-855-355-5777 to learn more. Enrollment for 2016 is happening now.
No way. Savor an Egg McMuffin anytime you like. A fresh cracked egg, Canadian bacon, and an English muffin with real butter. McDonald's all-day breakfast menu.
Fox 5 News, brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan, furnishing your style.
Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg is a new dad, and to celebrate his daughter's birth, he is making an incredible pledge.
That's right. Zuckerberg and his wife welcoming a baby girl last week, and today they announced plans to begin giving away 99% of their Facebook stock.
And with a net worth of $45 billion, that money could do a lot of good for a lot of people. Linda Schmidt with more on their amazing act of generosity.
Well, former Mayor Mike Bloomberg, who is also a philanthropist, he is weighing in on this. He is applauding the Zuckerberg's decision, saying that 30 is the new 70. And what he means by that is this: people that are in their 30s who have the means should start donating now instead of waiting until old age or death to do it.
Having this child has made us think about all of the things that should be improved in the world for her whole generation.
Becoming parents to a baby girl is having a profound impact on Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla. The co-founder and chief executive of Facebook and his wife posted a letter to their baby on Facebook. In it, the couple announced they will be giving 99% of their Facebook shares to charity and also private initiatives that will hopefully make the world a better place. That adds up to about $45 billion, and they plan on allocating all of this money during their lifetime.
We need to make sure that there are investments in programs that ensure that the future isn't going to be like today. The future is going to be better.
That's incredible. The Facebook generation growing up on social media might just be moved by the Zuckerberg's philanthropy.
Don't do it for like the publicity though, like you feel it in your heart to do it.
I guess in a way, people, like everyone, by just having a Facebook will feel that they're a part of this and they might be inspired by that.
Eric Enquist is with Crain's Business Magazine. He says the Zuckerbergs are following in the footsteps of other billionaires like Warren Buffett. And he also adds that there are practical reasons to donate your billions.
If you die with billions of dollars, the government is going to take basically half of it. So what's the point of holding on to it?
One thing is certain, millions of people could benefit from their charity. Linda Schmidt, Fox 5 News.
All right, well, it's going to be hard to top, but today is Giving Tuesday, a chance for the rest of us to make up for the excess of Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday. All right, it's a tradition of donating to help the less fortunate that was started 4 years ago by the 92nd Street Y and the United Nations Foundation. It's become a global day dedicated to giving back. Organizations throughout the tri-state got into the community today, including one that decided to give away 500 free Metro cards.
A lot of residents, their income is a lot lower and they struggle a little bit more. Getting a Metro card is a really big deal here, and so we want to give back to the community in a way that matters to them most.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great. This year, more than 30,000 organizations worldwide signed up to take part in Giving Tuesday.
All right, let's stay on that theme. And an injured red-tailed hawk is not only getting a second chance at life, but a third thanks to a Long Island couple. NYPD Harbor Police plucked the 9-month-old bird from the East River on Sunday. Then yesterday, firefighters rescued the very same hawk from a construction site near the World Trade Center. He is now being nursed back to health by a city firefighter and his wife, who run a wildlife rehab in North Massapequa.
We'll get him pain medication, medicate him, and just get him stronger again to give him a chance to go back.
Well, they plan to release the hawk in about 2 weeks or sooner if it's feeling better. That is really nice. And they do the whole thing on donations. Cleanup is set to begin this week at an illegal dumping ground on Long Island. Under the agreement with the state and property owner, the waste will be removed from the area in central Islip, then shipped to a disposal facility in Pennsylvania. It's enough to fill almost 11 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
All right, time now for On Brand, Off Brand. Our daily look at which people are living up or down to our expectations. On Brand, Jane's Addiction guitarist Dave Navarro's new documentary about the 1983 murder of his mother. Navarro, never one to shy away from dark subjects, says it is the most profound moment of his life, and he doesn't think he should sweep it under the rug anymore. That documentary out today on demand. Yeah, pretty incredible. On Brand, Carrie Fisher, who is revealing her dismay at being asked to lose 35 pounds for the upcoming Star Wars movie. Fisher did lose the weight. She calls the whole thing so messed up, though. And On Brand, David Letterman showing no signs of relinquishing his fantastic retirement beard. Letterman making a very rare public appearance last night at his alma mater, Ball State University in Indiana. And Letterman joked that earlier in the day on campus, he was mistaken for Charles Darwin with the beard.
And soon to be Santa Claus.
That's right. It's a very Santa-esque beard, but
really
it's great. He deserves it after all those years.
Well, die-hard Star Wars fans are getting ready for the new film by watching the old ones.
That's right, but it turns out there is definitely more than one way to plan your movie marathon. You don't need to go in order. There's sort of a science to the whole thing.
All right, and how an old-school Subway newsstand has been reimagined for the digital era. And the stuff it's carrying.
That's right, and winter's coming, so you'll definitely want to get the Fox 5 NY weather app. Features daily forecast, track storms heading our way. You can download the app. It's free. Just search Fox 5 NY weather in iTunes or Google Play.
Fox 5 News brought to you by Verizon Fios. Leave slow internet behind. Get Fios.
It's the holidays, and of course, everyone wants to get online at once to watch things, buy things. But slow internet makes it hard. That's why it's time to get Fios. It has the fastest internet and Wi-Fi available, with speeds from 50 to 500 megs. And right now, you'll get 50 meg Fios internet, TV, and phone for $79.99 a month online for your first year. And with a 2-year agreement, we'll give you all the premium movie channels for a year, plus $400 back. So go online or call now. Get out of the past. Get Fios.
When a moment spontaneously turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? And why stop what you're doing to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is the only daily tablet approved to treat erectile dysfunction, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right. Plus, Cialis treats the frustrating urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use. Insurance coverage has expanded nationally, and you may now be covered. Contact your health plan for the latest information.
You're saying that I'm some sort of beast.
Tell them that we are coming.
just want to be happy in this life.
This holiday, Ford, America's best-selling brand, is giving you more. The Ford Holiday Sales Event with 0% financing for 60 months on 2015 F-150 and Focus and 2016 Fusion and Escape. Plus $1,000 holiday bonus cash on 2015 Focus and 2016 Fusion and Escape. It's the best gift ever. Now, during the Ford Holiday Sales Event, get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $1,000 holiday bonus cash on select vehicles. See your local Ford dealer.
Talk about a Super Cyber Monday. Online shoppers spending nearly $3.1 billion yesterday. That's 16% more than last year, and it's a record for a single day. Black Friday sales giving Fiat Chrysler a November to remember. The automaker posting its biggest numbers in 15 years last month, with sales for its Jeep brand soaring 20% compared to a year ago. And it's just not Jeeps. Total U.S. auto sales are on track to hit an all-time high in 2015. And we're not just buying cars. New home buyers helping construction spending surge to an 8-year high in October. Also helping government spending on roads and schools. And 'tis the season to tip well. A new survey says nearly 1 in 5 families plan on tipping more during the holiday season than they did last year. Now that's the spirit, and that's business. I'm Neil Cavuto.
Well, one of the iconic sites of the New York City subway system has gone high-tech.
That's right. The newsstand is located at the L-Line mezzanine at 14th Street, Union Square. Besides magazines and snacks, you can pick up a tablet, mini espresso machines, and, of course, drones.
Most of the time, people walk by, and they give us the, what is this? Because when you look in here, all you see is white. And then you look out there, and it's a subway.
New stand, as opposed to newsstand, has a 10-year lease with the MTA, so you can expect to see more of these high-tech stands opening in subway stations throughout the city.
We should let you know the picture of the gun was art. I mean,
right.
It was art.
Not
you
real
can't buy guns.
No.
In the subway. 125th Street in Harlem came alive in lights tonight. Look at that. Harlem Holiday Lights features food tastings, live entertainment, and a parade of lights. It's the official kickoff to the holiday season in the neighborhood.
18 days till a new Star Wars movie hits theaters.
Just enough time for fans to binge watch the originals, but is there a right order to do it in?
All right, and the boy who picked a very unique way to get his mom to put down her cell phone.
The Cavuto Report, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Red 97! Set! Red 97!
Did you say 97?
Yes.
You know, that reminds me of Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating.
97%?
Helped by Geico's fast and friendly claim service.
Oh yeah, baby. Geico's as fast and friendly as it gets.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
In Key West, you can get close to nature. Close to history. And really close to the band. In fact, Key West is close to perfect, but far from normal.
It's been an amazing year for Honda, with the all-new HR-V crossover, all-new Pilot, and the all-new Civic. There's a lot to celebrate, so hurry in to Happy Honda Days and take home KBB.com's best overall brand.
This winter, Broadway's longest-running musical announces prime seats at an extraordinary price. The Phantom of the Opera. Get orchestra seats for only $89 when you order by December 24th.
Did we stop at offering free access to over 1 million Wi-Fi hotspots?
No.
Did we stop at offering a wide array of super-fast internet speed?
No.
Did we stop at offering internet that can include Hulu and HBO Now?
No.
Sorry, not you.
And did we stop at that third box of custard-filled donuts?
No.
Should we have?
Yes.
No. At Optimum, we never stop innovating to give you the choices you want, where you want, at the price you want. Optimum, let's connect more.
Fox 5 News is brought to you by Optimum Wi-Fi, an expanding network of over 1 million hotspots. After Empire gets hot for the holidays with Hot 97. It's a jam-packed show filled with the biggest names in hip-hop and R&B. Busta Rhymes is in our studio.
I'm giving it up.
He's headlining the city's biggest winter concert with all of his friends.
He deserves a concert like this.
It's going to be fun.
And they're only on After Empire, tomorrow at 10.
Okay, the new Star Wars movie now less than 3 weeks away. We've been talking about this for 3 years, and there is definitely a chance to relive the first 6 films in case it's been a while, maybe.
Without a doubt. So the question is, should you watch them in order? Matt King dives into this great debate.
I've got nothing to fight for.
An opening crawl marks the beginning of each of the first 6 Star Wars films. But as the owner of this rebel enclave in Queens tells us, the order in which a newbie to the galaxy should watch those movies varies depending on whom you ask.
I watch it the way I grew up watching it. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
New York Jedi admin Daniel Reiser presides over a stage combat troupe who used lightsabers.
And right now, we're just living this up.
Reiser's order of viewing follows the order in which the movies came out, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and keeps intact the mystery of Darth Vader's identity.
The other order is called the machete order, and that's going to be 4, 5, and then you go back to 2 and 3, because when he says, Luke, I am your father, now you do the prequel as a flashback sequence, and then you go back to Return of the Jedi, and then if you so wish, then you do episode 1 to see it, how all it started.
There does exist a third way to watch the series, beginning with episode 1. Although many would argue there's no surer way to send a kid to the dark side than allowing their first Star Wars experience to include Jar Jar Binks.
You mightn't be saying that.
I'm an all-encompassing geek. I kind of accept, the prequels and the original as just one big story that kind of all belong together.
The big story documents the life of Darth Vader, from boyhood to the Force to the dark side. But most Star Wars fans recognize the series as more than that, a hero's journey beginning with Episode 4. From the cantina on Tatooine, to the battle for Hoth in the snow, to the Ewoks of Endor, to Jar Jar, Anakin with a rat tail, and then that Jedi's surrender to the dark side. Liar! The Star Wars series built for itself a passionate fan base, protective and wary as to how best to introduce their favorite characters from a galaxy far, far away to those meeting them for the first time.
And I'm loving seeing the fact that you have these younger generation that are fully into it. It's a generational experience.
In Astoria, I'm Matt King, Fox 5 News.
And the new Star Wars film will feature a taste of Broadway. Yes, the cantina scene will have original music co-written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. He is the genius creator, composer, and star of Hamilton. Director J.J. Abrams revealed the big news last night on The Tonight Show. And Miranda confirmed it on Twitter, saying, quote, "We worked on it between 6 p.m. and 7:30 on 2 show days for the past 2 months. JJ is the best. Can't wait to see it. Neither can we."
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Teaming up there of those two. All right, weather-wise, so it looks like it's getting warmer.
A little bit.
But we got another day of wet weather.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But then after that, you'll like what's coming because it'll be a nice stretch of driving. Back to you.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to go for another 3 minutes. But I will tell you again that we will have some rain still in the forecast. Tonight, it's not so bad out there. It's just kind of misty and drizzly. And although we have had 3/10 of an inch of rain in New York City so far today, and we'll probably pick up another 3/4 to an inch of rain tonight. More of that really coming, I think, tomorrow afternoon, in about the first part of tomorrow evening. At that point, we'll be waiting for a cold front to come on through, so that's what I think will be the bigger mechanism to bring some steadier, heavier downpours around here. 51-44, though, today, so above average, as you see. 70-9 in the record books, and again, that was record low of 9 was way back in the late 1800s. 7:01 sunrise, 4:29 sunset. Now, that's the earliest sunset time, so the day will continue to shrink over the next couple of days. by the morning, sunrise getting a little later and later in the morning. You get the idea as we approach the winter solstice coming up on December 22nd. All right, 49 degrees right now, so temperature is still holding up there with the east-northeast wind. Humidity is high, the pressure is falling. Just a cloudy sky, but again, it's kind of misty out there across the air, and we're going to see more of that mist as time goes along today. All right, we'll take a look here at Fox 5 Sky Guardian 3D. Again, one batch of rain sliding off to the north and east, and then the next batch will be sliding up from the south and west. And a lot of that, again, is mainly going to be tomorrow afternoon. Although tomorrow morning's commute, it's light rain and drizzle, just kind of like what we saw around here this morning. Highs today made it to the low 50s around the city, 52 at Newark, 54 at Belmar. Didn't get out of the 40s, though, to the north and west. Poughkeepsie 45, Sussex 44. And we're kind of still in that same upper 40s, low 50s range now. You go from the city on east to Montauk, now is at 50. 52 Belmar, back to the low 40s. Poughkeepsie and Sussex. And the temps are going to hold right about here. Maybe they'll fall a degree or so. I think that's really going to be about it. And you can see from last night, we're up about 5-6 degrees across a lot of the area. Thanks to, again, just sort of the cloud cover that's in place. And we still have this northeasterly wind that'll become more easterly as the night goes along and on into tomorrow. All right, here are the temperatures in the northeast tonight, and it's chilly at Albany at 40, but 50 at Williamsport, 54 at Philadelphia. So kind of a mix of mid-40s and mid-50s out there. And like I said, as we look at Fox 5 Sky Guardian 3D, one batch of rain will come in as the night goes along, and then this bigger batch of rain comes up as we head on into tomorrow. That's going to be ahead of the storm system, which is still producing snow across the upper parts of the Midwest. Today's little storm center is sliding off east of Nantucket now, but down here, as a cold front moves in, notice there's a little bump in the precipitation here. There's going to be another little storm forming there, and that will come in our direction tomorrow. So that's why we're talking a little more rain around here as temperatures warm up. In fact, look at the middle 50s here tomorrow. 56 in the city. At least I'm thinking maybe even now 57 or 58 degrees. 62 at New Orleans, 83 Miami. Colder behind that front in the 30s, Chicago to Minneapolis. 61 San Francisco and 77 in LA. All right, so plan on, again, occasional rain or drizzle out the door. Low 50s in the morning. We'll get to 57 in the afternoon. That's the steadiest rain and some showers around here at that point, as the Futurecast again shows that coming along here. That rain will end later tomorrow night. Then a gusty breeze comes in Thursday. The sun returns as well. We'll cool it down a little bit, but still no real cold blast coming our way. Rain, drizzle, patchy fog tonight. Generally mid and upper 40s, and then middle to upper 50s tomorrow. But again, the rain will be around a bit in a showery form, more of it in the afternoon and evening. All right, on Thursday, breezy, 52. Looks good, though, with sun and clouds. Then upper 40s Friday, Saturday. Back to the low 50s Sunday, Monday. Like I said, no real big cold snap coming in here. Clouds will gather Tuesday. We may have to deal with a potential little nor'easter storm here by Wednesday next week. So, but that would be rain, not snow.
Okay. Right.
I got your attention, though, didn't I?
You did. Like, wait a second.
That one in there.
Yeah, well, I had to, you know.
Now it's December. We know eventually what's going to happen.
They start cranking
Yeah, for sure. All right, thank you, Nick. All right, how about this? I was able to take part in a great event tonight with some of our colleagues here at Fox 5. Tonight was United Cerebral Palsy of New York City's annual Santa Project Party. Mike Woods emceed the event. Teresa Priola was also there, as was Inez Rosales, who's not pictured, but she was in attendance. UCP helps people live independent, active lives. So many thanks to everyone who helped make tonight's event such a big success. That was the 6th annual Secret Santa Project Party. All right, and Russ, in next sports.
Yes, Kobe's farewell tour begins with a stop in his hometown. Details after the break.
Traffic Tracker brought to you by Toyota.
I'm Inez Rosales with the Toyota Traffic Tracker. The Sawmill River Parkway construction will be going on both directions between Main Street and Old Sawmill Road. This is in Greenburg. Right lane will be closed from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. tomorrow. Street cleaning rules are in effect, and it's a gridlock alert day for the lighting of the Rockefeller Christmas tree, so stay away from Rockefeller Center. Tune into Good Day New York starting at 4:30 in the morning, and I'll keep you updated on your commute.
Dunkin's new sweet black pepper bacon sandwich with double the slices of caramelized crispy peppered bacon. It's the bacon experience you've been waiting for. Bacon up. America runs on Dunkin'.
Your life is busy. Your life is on a budget. There is one place you can count on to help you save time, save money. ShopRite.
In-store or online, Ajax or Yes Laundry Detergent, $1.88 with your card, and a 12-pack of Bounty Towels or 24-pack of Charmin Bath Tissue, $12.99 with your card.
One place where you can be confident you get the value and the quality you want for your family every time you shop.
At ShopRite, we're all about food. We're all about savings. We're all about you.
Everyone has the power to change the world, not with some superhuman ability, but with ideas. Ideas that could revolutionize the way we travel.
It's something the students competing in Shell Eco Marathon do every day, and something we'll all benefit from tomorrow.
They're inspiring the future, where the cars we drive will be re-engineered to meet our growing energy challenges.
What if your idea could change the world?
Son, holiday season's just like football season. You got your big games, cheese plates, turkey, appetizers, and regular games. Get it all at a great price.
And the holiday season is one.
That's my boy.
Fill your cart with everything you need this season, all at one place. My Stop & Shop. This week, get select General Mills or Post cereals for $1.88 and Wesson canola, vegetable, or corn oil for $4.99.
Losing an hour of sleep can reduce daytime alertness by 25%. Discover the power of sleep during Raymore and Flanagan's Wednesday one-day mattress sale. Save on the Northeast's largest mattress selection. Lifestyle adjustable bases start at $5.99. Serta Queen mattress sets start at $3.99. Get a free box spring with any Bell & S Royal mattress, no interest for 36 months. Raymore and Flanagan's Wednesday one-day mattress sale. Special preview Tuesday.
Dunkin' Donuts' unbelievable selection of breakfast sandwiches, freshly made all day, so you can enjoy them any type of way, any time of day. That's breakfast whenevs. America runs on Dunkin'.
Two of college basketball's biggest rivals face off. Saturday, Syracuse clashes with Georgetown on Fox.
The disruption in your relationship is making my life intolerable.
I'm sorry, Sheldon, but this really isn't about you.
I don't follow.
Next, Big Bang. Coming up next on Fox 5.
All right, how you doing, everyone? With Kobe Bryant announcing Sunday that this will indeed be his final season in the NBA. The farewell tour officially started tonight in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, where before becoming a Laker great, he led Lower Merion High School to a state championship.
And a 17-time NBA All-Star, the third highest scorer in NBA history, the 2008 MVP, two-time NBA Finals MVP, five-time NBA champion, a 6'6" guard from Lower Merion High School, where he won the title in 1996. Number 24, Kobe Bryant.
And again from three, that too dead on. Good night all around for the fans in Philly. They get to see Kobe up close for the last time, and their Sixers improve their record now to 1-18. Next up for the Sixers, by the way, the Knicks tomorrow night over at the Garden. Meanwhile, earlier today, those Knicks got together with the Make-A-Wish Foundation to make Edward Guillermino's dream come true. The 11-year-old, who's been battling leukemia since he was just 5, was signed by the team for one day. He then posed with his Knicks jersey and even got to participate in the team's practice this morning over at Madison Square Garden. Nice story. Good job for the Knicks. On the local hardwood tonight, Nets shade the Suns 94-91. On the ice, Avalanche edge the Devils 2-1. And in baseball, free agent lefty David Price agrees to a 7-year deal with the Red Sox worth a reported $270 million. So one might say the price was right for David.
I'm not great at math, but that's what, $30 million a year?
No, 31. Wow. That's a lot of Samoan.
It's amazing.
That's
amazing. That'll do it. Wow. All right, thank you, Russ. And we all catch ourselves spending a little much time on our phones.
Really?
Yeah, me in particular. I get it. I'm guilty.
Yeah, you just wait. Well, a little boy wanted to send a message to his mom, so he wrote her a ticket. It read, "Ticket for being on your phone most of the time and not being seriously with me a lot. You're fine, $112 gazillion. Hope you enjoy paying the fine." Well, the boy's dad posted the image on Reddit with the caption, "Wife got served a ticket by my son." And of course, the story is it got more than 500,000
Yeah, from
views.
people on their phones.
Some
Right.
criticized
Yeah.
mom,
Take that, kid.
while others took it in stride.
My kid
Yes.
ever pulls a stunt like that, they're getting disowned.
You telling us something?
No.
Okay,
No,
I
I'm
thought
not.
this was an
I'm not.
announcement or something.
No announcement. No. But someday.
Yeah, sometimes it
I don't
just
need my kid getting
happens.
lippy about my cell phone use.
You'll be getting a ticket.
I'll be getting tickets. You're right. You're right. I'll be ripping them up and throwing them out. I'll be like, hey, I paid the bills around here.
You won't be looking at phones then.
It'll be
Something
the
else.
chip will just be implanted
Exactly.
by then. That's
Yeah,
a great
exactly.
point. True. All right, see you. Good night.
Have a great one.
Fox 5 News isn't over. If you want to connect to great stories and people, then engage Fox 5's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. And go to fox5ny.com for news and stories you care about. Brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan Furniture, furnishing your style. Fox 5 News brought to you by NYU Langone Medical Center, made for New York.
I'm Sierra, and this is my greatest.
Who coined the term side bread? Because there's nothing side about this bread. It may look like the moon, but it's the star of the show. Unleash the power of dough. Give it a pop. That sound, like nails on a chalkboard. But listen to this. That's a different kind of sound. The sound of the weekend. Unleash the power of dough. Give it a pop.
You'd be surprised how easy it is to get a good low-cost health plan. You might even get help paying for it. Go to nystateofhealth.ny.gov or call 1-855-355-5777. Enrollment ends December 15th.
Just press clean and let Roomba from iRobot help with your everyday messes. Roomba navigates your entire home, cleaning up pet hair and debris for up to 2 hours, which means your floors are always clean. You and Roomba from iRobot, better together.
With thousands of quality pre-owned vehicles and exceptional customer service, head to your neighborhood Enterprise car sales and let the people who buy more vehicles than anyone flip your thinking about buying your next one.
This holiday, Ford, America's best-selling brand, is giving you more. The Ford Holiday Sales Event with 0% financing for 60 months on 2015 F-150 and Focus and 2016 Fusion and Escape. Plus $1,000 holiday bonus cash on 2015 Focus and 2016 Fusion and Escape. It's the best gift ever. Now, during the Ford Holiday Sales Event, get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $1,000 holiday bonus cash on select vehicles. See your local Ford dealer.